What's up, guys? This is the U.
She called me Dickie Cortez when she introduced me. Money running out, I'm hungry, I'm at the jaw now. Jackson Bricky, my nigga, I'm ready to ball now. It's never to the shine.
Today we are going over the first and a little bit of the second round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Going to be talking about some surprises, some picks that I think definitely were capable of the draft spot. But to start it off, Carolina obviously needed a quarterback, and they took their future guy with Bryce Young. What do you guys think about that? Was he deserved the first quarterback?
He was the consensus number one overall pick, I think.
I think so too.
I mean, he's got the skill, he's got the speed. How well that's going to transfer to the NFL is going to be a big question, but he's on the right track, and hopefully they can surround him with some good pieces in Carolina.
Yeah. So his skill is undoubtedly there. He is very skilled, very shifty. I hate his size. You cannot be under 6 foot and be a very good NFL quarterback, to be honest. He's got to be able to see over his line. He's got to be able to be tall enough to vision the field. I think he's too small. I don't think he's the best quarterback in the draft. His skill is undoubtedly there. If he could battle that height adversity, then I think he will be very good. But that is something that you can't really even work on or change. And there's nothing he could really do about that. He's undersized, and I think he is undeserving of the number one overall pick being that undersized quarterback. So that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Chicago did have the first pick, but Carolina traded for it. Carolina obviously needed a quarterback. There's no doubt that Bryce Young has the talent. Like you said, his size is definitely a huge factor, and I don't know how that's going to translate to the NFL. But he's shown some upside in college. Obviously, he played in big games like the bowl games and stuff like that. So his talent is there, but the size is definitely a big factor into that. But moving on to the Texans, their second pick, they took C.J. Stroud, who I think personally is the best quarterback in the draft. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about the pick?
The Texans needed a quarterback, and they got the next best guy. If you thought Bryce Young was the number one, C.J. Stroud's easily the next best guy in the draft. So.
Yeah. So people were saying before even the draft that Will Levis was like undoubtedly going to, which I thought that was crazy. I think C.J. Stroud is by far the best quarterback in the draft. In past history, Ohio State quarterbacks getting drafted is not really a good look. I think this can change. I think C.J. Stroud brings a whole new energy to Houston, and I think that he can do very well and succeed out there in Houston with a whole new head coach and GM. So I'm happy to see him go to Houston. I think he'll do very well there. Conk, what do you think about that?
I agree. I think Stroud is the best quarterback in this draft class. I don't think he will be remembered as that because he's the Texans' new franchise quarterback, which just sucks for him. But I will say that the new Texans management has come out hot because I love what they did this draft. Because I'm going to move on to the third pick real quick. I think Will Anderson Jr. is the greatest talent in this draft, and they got back-to-back. They got their new franchise quarterback, who I think is the best quarterback in the draft, and then they traded up for the third pick because I'm guessing that they really wanted Will Anderson, but they need a quarterback so bad, and they were like tossing and turning over which decision to make. So I think they traded up, and then I think they got the best quarterback in the draft and the best talent in the draft. So I love what the Texans did. That is awesome. They traded up for the third pick when they had the second. That's sick.
Yeah, when we were watching that last night, I thought that was crazy. I love how the Houston Texans are firing on all cylinders right now, trading for that third pick, just showing how they really want players in this draft.
Because it's what they need, and then the new management needs to show that they are about winning because the Texans really haven't been much about winning recently. So I love this because even if it doesn't work, very good attempt, and I do love what they did, and I do love the two players that they did get.
I love the effort. I mean, trading for that third pick was very out of the blue in my opinion, but wow, I think it'll work out very well.
I think so too. I like Will Anderson. I think he's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, goes to show he's by far the best defensive talent in the draft. But keeping it short, simple. We're gonna move on to the 4th pick, which I called it before. I said it from the jump. Anthony Richardson to the Indianapolis Colts. He is definitely a project. 6'4", coming in at like 220, 240, anywhere between that. His skill is obviously something that, GMs are a little worried about, but the Colts, I mean, they wanted to roll the dice and go for it, which I think was a very good pick for them. I think it's gonna take a few years for him to develop. So if he does get some gameplay in this season, I don't think he's gonna be that good, and people might write him off. But give it a few years, I think he can start to develop and actually play to his deserved talent. What do you guys think about that?
So this is what I want to say: Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz. This is very different. This is a very different look from what the Colts usually do at quarterback. I don't know if they're just have been terrible recently, so they're trying to switch anything up, or if they really love Richardson. I see him as a Lamar guy who isn't Lamar. I don't believe in his arm. I don't believe in him being a true good quarterback. But he is extremely talented, so he's one of the guys where I have no idea. I'm just gonna have to say I have no idea how his game's gonna translate to the NFL.
I mean, his arm is a little lackluster, but his mobile ability is definitely there. He could run through people at any given moment. He kind of reminds me like Jalen Hurts a little bit. He's gritty. He's physical. He can get the ball to the right players, but I still think it takes a little bit of time for him to develop. But to move on, Seahawks had the 5th pick. I thought they had probably one of the best drafts out of any team in this draft. They got Devin Witherspoon, who's a cornerback. I don't think he still plays as a cornerback in the NFL. I think he is more of a plug and play. You can put him anywhere in the field, and he will do that role. Very great tackler. He could literally blow somebody up in the backfield. Any open field tackle, he's got it, and his man coverage is very good as well. Do you guys have any thoughts about Devin Witherspoon? Do you think he got picked too early? Do you think he was deserved at his spot?
No, I don't think he went too early. I think he got picked like right where he belongs, kind of. I think he's a great defensive talent, and I think he'll be a good NFL player. I don't know if he'll be one of the best corners in the league or whatever if he gets moved, like you said. I don't think he'll be one of the best in the league, but I think he'll definitely be a solid guy on any defense.
Yeah.
Witherspoon is very talented. He's crazy good. I don't know if he's 5th overall pick good, but the Seahawks see him as that, and the Seahawks wanted him, so let's see it.
Yeah. To keep it short and simple, we're going to move on. Cardinals had the 3rd pick, but they traded back with Houston, my bad. So yeah, they drafted Paris Johnson, who's an offensive tackle from Ohio State. By far one of the best tackles and guards out there in this draft. Big player, versatile, can move anyone on the defensive line, and that's what the Cardinals needed. I think this was a perfect pick. I like how they traded down. I think it makes the most sense for the Cardinals. Protect Kyler Murray at all costs. You obviously saw how he played last season, and it was very worrisome. So, you guys have any other opinions on that? I think this pick was amazing for them.
Best O-lineman in the draft. Cardinals need that. Love the pick.
Cardinals kind of need everything right now, and might as well start from the trenches. So, I like this pick. Best offensive tackle in the draft. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Not too much to say about it. I just think he was the perfect fit for this perfect team. So, yeah. So moving on.
Far from a perfect.
Not a perfect team. But hopefully he can make them one. So, Raiders, man. Oh God, they had the 7th pick. They took Tyree Wilson, who I am not a huge fan of. Raiders have terrible drafting skills. I don't know what they think of when they draft players, but I don't know. It's been in past history that they cannot draft somebody. I've never been a big fan of Tyree Wilson. I think he's a bust, but do you guys have any other thoughts about him?
If you're taking an edge or a D lineman here, why isn't it Jalen Carter? Why are you taking Tyree Wilson over Jalen Carter? I don't like this pick. I'm a big Raiders fan. Tyree Wilson's pretty good. Like he's really good, but 7th overall pick is like I don't. That is a reach for him, man.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not though. I feel like on a lot of draft boards I was seeing him go 4th overall, 6th overall, something like that. 7 overall is like kind of right in the mix for where he was projected.
But I think his projections were mad high.
I think
for
so
who he
too.
is.
I think that as well.
Maybe, but I don't know. I thought he was kind of slipping a little bit. I mean, even DraftKings had him go. Like DraftKings had Will Levis going 2nd overall, but still, like they had him going right after at 3rd or 4th.
Don't listen to DraftKings. DraftKings
I know.
fucks up the lines. Don't bet on DraftKings, dude. DraftKings lines are fucked.
But I don't know. I think this is a good pickup for them. They need defense. The Raiders need defense, like more than anything.
I mean,
So.
Then I think about it as this. I don't like him individually, but then I think about the Raiders' defense. Raiders' defense is ass. The only thing they have going is Crosby, really.
Right.
Dude, they're sending in Crosby from one end and Tyree from one end. That could be kind of lethal.
Exactly. That'll be scary.
Yeah.
I think it'll be scary,
Which-
but I think he needs time to develop. But
I mean, he's got time in Vegas. They're not going to be great next year. So.
fair enough. Moving on, Atlanta Falcons. I think this is a great pick. Best running back in the draft by far. One of the best running back talents we've seen in a while. I mean, running backs are a hot commodity, but Bijan Robinson out of Texas. Man, is he explosive. He could go 1 to 100 in not even a blink of an eye. He's a beast. I love it. Falcons could use a spark. The Falcons do have Algier, and they had Cordero Patterson. Running back maybe wasn't like my go-to thought. I think maybe they could have beefed up the O-line a bit. Maybe go for a receiver a little too early, but I think offensive pick was definitely the move here, and I think Bijan Robinson was a good pick. I was not expecting it, but yeah, I think he is by far one of the best offensive talents in this draft, and he's very explosive, can run through anyone, just gritty, physical, fast, can catch open balls in the backfield, and hopefully give a spark to the Atlanta Falcons offense. Do you guys agree?
I hate this pick. Bijan Robinson is one of the greatest college running backs I've ever seen. I will not discredit him on that. The Falcons need literally anything besides running back. Like, literally anything besides running back they need. The only decent part of their team is running back. Pick a lineman here. It'll make your running backs better anyway. Like, I'd rather them start to beef up their line and keep going with the guys they just got. They just drafted Algier last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not Bijan Robinson by any means, but, like, he could be as good as Bijan Robinson is this year with no line if they drafted a lineman here and a lineman in the second round and beefed up their line or something, or worked on their defense or got a quarterback or anything. They needed anything but a running back, and yeah, they got their greatest running back who's come out in a while. But that is like the one position they did not need, and they took a running back top 10 overall, which I never agree with. So I hate that pick. I love Bijan Robinson. I hate that pick.
I like this pick. Also, I'm agreeing with you, Kyle. For anybody but the Falcons, they have 2 running backs who are solid, and they need everything else other than a running back. Take Will Levis is still on the board. Take an O lineman, like anything other than a running back.
Darnell Wright, like beef up the line.
Something, dude. That Jalen Carter was still on the board at that point.
Yup.
It's insane. I saw Bijan Robinson going to the Eagles. They obviously need a running back after what's his name left?
Miles Sanders.
So I didn't see him going this
But
early
the thing
to
about-
the Falcons.
The thing about the Eagles is they don't need a running back because they could put anyone behind that line and anyone will be good.
True.
You know what I mean? If they got Bijan Robinson, that's crack. But
I feel like he deserved to get drafted this high. Best running back prospect since Saquon Barkley, and
Agreed.
I feel like the Falcons are the worst team he could have possibly gone to, except maybe like the Titans.
yeah, I know.
All right, let's keep moving on. Next pick, we have the Philadelphia Bulldogs. They just took their guy, Jalen Carter. Sorry if you don't get the reference. Philadelphia Eagles literally took Georgia players in the past 2 years.
With their first 2 picks, the past 2 years they have recreated the best college football defense we have ever seen. And they put it in the NFL. The chemistry is going to be there. The skill is there.
They took
Obviously.
the whole Georgia defensive line.
Jalen Carter is my favorite pick in the draft. I have no idea how he fell to 9. That is an insane pick for the Eagles. Especially because they just got his 3 best friends around him, his 3 guys around him. They recreated the Georgia defense. That is crazy. They're going to be insane. Especially when they develop in the NFL. They're going to be one of the greatest NFL defenses we've ever seen. Jalen Carter, I don't know how he fell to 9. I don't know how the Eagles have the 9th pick. As a Giants fan, absolutely fuck that. As an Eagles fan, you have to love that. Eagles are looking insane, dude.
Yeah, well, I'll answer the question on why he fell. So Jalen Carter was definitely a top 3 pick at one point, and then he had a little scandal going on with a gun and blah, 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 so teams kind of took a back seat from him. I mean, his talent is there. He's a great player. If he can keep his nose in the right areas and just stick to football and not get into anything crazy or outlandish, he will be obviously the best player to come out of this draft, in my opinion. Yeah, no, that's all I really have to say. Jalen Carter to the Eagles, great pick. I love this pick. It's going to beef up their defense so much, and the chemistry, like you said, is just there already. So
I agree with
I'm excited
everything.
to see the Eagles.
I agree with everything you guys just said.
And the Eagles
I
are...
think the Eagles probably had one of the best drafts.
Yeah.
Dude, the Eagles are set up. They're going to be gross for the next couple years, and then once their guys who are gross now start to decline, they're going to get gross again. So,
Yeah.
it's insane.
All right, so the next 2 picks, we have the Chicago Bears and the Tennessee Titans. The Bears took Darnell Wright, who's an offensive tackle from Tennessee, and Tennessee Titans took Peter Skoronski, an offensive tackle from Northwestern. Both teams do need to protect their quarterbacks at all costs. Perfect picks. If you're a Tennessee fan, maybe you would want to see a wide receiver. If I'm a Tennessee fan, if I'm a diehard Tennessee fan, I want an offensive tackle. You need to beef up that line. Same with Chicago. You got young quarterbacks in the backfield that you need to protect. And, yeah, and you have Derrick Henry in the backfield for who knows how long. But you got to protect them at all costs. I think these were 2 great picks. Do you guys disagree or agree?
I think that Skoronski should have went before Darnell Wright. I think that the Titans definitely got the better half of the deal, getting a pick later and getting Skoronski. You never see that talent at nose guard anymore, and Skoronski is like so versatile. He could play pretty much anywhere in the offensive line, and especially being that skilled at nose guard is insane. On top of that, I think I would have loved to see Darnell Wright stay in Tennessee. That would have been cool if him to go to the Titans, but I love who the Titans got.
Yeah.
I like both these picks for both teams. I mean, like you said, they got to protect their quarterback in Chicago, and at Tennessee, you got to open up those holes for Derrick Henry to run through. So,
Yeah.
I think that was the perfect pick for both teams, offensive tackle.
All right, well, moving on to a pick that we all hated. Detroit Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs. Who is that?
I know who he is, but to draft him at 12th overall when you're the Lions, and like the Lions have a pretty good offense and defense. I mean, they have so many other places that they could build around. You don't need to be taking a running back not named Bijan Robinson at 12th overall right here. I hate that pick. I think that this is the worst pick of the first round by far.
I agree with that. Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously from Alabama. I didn't mean to make the who joke, but he had less than a 1% chance of making it in the first round, getting drafted in the first round. A less than 1% chance of getting drafted in the first round. And he went 12. To a team that just signed David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, who's been a little injury prone.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, why? Like, I don't get why it makes sense.
Well, Swift might be on the move, so.
Well, yeah, obviously after that pick, it's obviously in speculation, but now I just see a running back committee that this guy might get 5 carries, Montgomery might get 8, and then Swift might get 10.
Yeah, and Jahmyr Gibbs is alright. I like him more than Swift and Montgomery, especially Montgomery. Swift is but I mean, they're all they're all like the same type of back. I feel like just like all tiny backs.
I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is more of like a pass catcher though.
No.
DeAndre Swift is a pass catcher. Montgomery's a pass catcher. Like they're all somewhat sort of pass catchers, like who are like just undersized and tiny and not that great.
Yeah. Well, we did not like this pick whatsoever.
I think that's the worst pick of the first round by far.
Yeah, I didn't see a point for it. But to move on, keep it going. So the Jets originally had the 13th pick, but with the Rodgers trade, Packers moved 2 spots up. Jets moved 2 spots back. So the Packers have this pick. They took Luka Van Ness from Iowa. He's a linebacker, very explosive. Literally can blow up anyone in the backfield.
He can play edge too.
Yeah, he can play edge. He can play anywhere on the defense, to be honest.
Versatile defenseman.
He's huge. He can run through literally anybody, blow up anybody. Like I just said, I love this pick. Love this pick. Green Bay needed someone explosive on the defensive front, and I think this was the guy to go to at this spot.
I don't think they needed somebody on the defensive front. Like, why? They have a good defense. They have a good defense every year. Why not? I mean, it's the Packers. That's why. Because they never wanted to draft an O-lineman or a receiver for Rodgers. They're not going to do that for Jordan Love. So it's the same old thing with the Packers.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like they're kind of beefing up that defense a little more because their offense isn't going to be as powerful as it has been in the past, and they have a bunch of very highly talented players on that defense already who are young. So I think that they're trying to really, because they don't know what the future of their offense holds, I think that they're trying to solidify a solid young defense so that in the coming years, no matter what happens, they'll still be solid. That's especially with a guy like this, you could put him anywhere almost.
That's good, but they were doing the same thing when Rodgers was winning MVPs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's,
I know. I don't agree with the Packers.
Like,
drafts
we'll
in the
see.
past.
We'll see how they, like, when they do have that really solid defense and they have Jordan Love back. Like, he's gonna have no pieces.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see how next year's draft goes, how their
I
trades
know,
and signings go, but
cause, like,
we'll see.
They don't even have like their shitty wide receiver one in Lazard anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like what are they even doing?
I like the pick, to be honest. I think he's going to be a really explosive player for the Packers. Kind of reminds me of like a Clay Matthews, A.J. Hawk type of deal. Bring that old era back to Green Bay. But to keep this moving, we got the Steelers here at 14th. They took Broderick Jones from Georgia. He's an offensive tackle. Steelers obviously went out and got Pickett last season, so offensive tackle this season makes the perfect sense. Broderick Jones in Georgia, just come off a natty championship. I don't get how you can hate it. I think that you got to protect the people in the backfield, and he's one of those guys that can move, play, stick his head in the hole, and just.
So they traded up 3 spots for this pick. I love it. Georgia tackle. Their defense is really good. A lot of young stars on that offense. No better way to beef up an offense than to beef up that line. So I love this pick.
I also love this pick. That defense doesn't need that much help. They're a pretty good defense, and when everybody's healthy, they're a really good defense. And they got the pieces on offense, so they just need to beef up that line, and they could be a decent team. You know, they could be a good team next year.
Yeah.
I love this pick for the Steelers, but now with the Jets taking the Packers spot at 15, they took Willie McDonald IV from Iowa State. He's an edge rusher. Honestly, going into this draft, I really did not know much about him. He's coming from Brock Purdy School. He played with him, so that gives me some hope. But honestly, I didn't really know much about him. My opinion is kind of, I don't know. I really don't know about how I feel about it. Jets could use some. I mean, their defense is stacked, but to add on to it, I mean, hey, I'm not going to doubt it. I would love to see O-line. Like, if Skoronski was still on the board, I would love that. If Broderick Jones was still there, I mean, I would love that. But I think this isn't a terrible pick. I think it's fine. I think it'll work out.
I'm just intrigued to see how he's going to be, because McDonald was never a big-name guy. He was never being talked about. You would have never, like a year ago, like, ever heard of his name or projected him to go first round. He had an insane breakout season this year. He went off this year. I'm waiting to see if that was more of like a 12-game heater, and if he could keep that going, especially, and translate it to an NFL type of level. That's what I'm skeptical about, because he's never been a very good guy. At Iowa State, not the greatest school, he had a crazy good season there this year. I just don't know if it's a fluke. I don't know if that's going to translate to the NFL level, which is very different. This could definitely go either way. Like, so I'm like so tossed and turned about this one.
I feel like the Jets kind of got screwed here. I feel like they were looking to draft an offensive tackle, and they missed all the good ones, so they had to go defense. But
True.
I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. Offensive lineman would have been. That's what they need.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing they really need right now.
Exactly, and that's what
You're
Rodgers
so
is
right. I
asking
didn't
for.
even think about that.
Well, their offensive line isn't the worst. I mean, it's been really bad. No, hold on.
It's
hold
not the
on,
worst.
Hold
It's
on,
not the worst.
Hold
That line's
on.
ass.
Hold on. They've dealt with many injuries this past season. Mekhi Becton was not playing. Other than that, I mean,
Becton never plays. Is he gonna play this year? Probably not. And if he does, he'll play like 3 or 4 games, get hurt, and not be very good in those 3 or 4 games. Mekhi Becton's
Maybe.
not it.
I think otherwise.
But even more than him, they had a few guys getting hurt. They had people rotating through that line. That line was never like a solid group, you know.
Yeah, but if you're gonna tell me that Jets O line is good, don't tell me the first person that comes to your mind is Mekhi Becton, because that is.
Well, he's still young and still can show talent. I mean, his draft class, he had Tristan Wirfs, who I think was the best.
Dude, he doesn't play, and when he just has been asked, to be honest.
All right, I think otherwise. But to keep moving on, Washington Commanders had the 16th pick, and then New England had the 17th pick. Both teams took cornerbacks. Washington took Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State, and New England took Christian Gonzalez. The Patriots traded back with the Steelers to, I guess, honestly, like, I think this is how they wanted to go out. I think this was the perfect plan for New England.
Yeah.
Washington took Emmanuel Forbes before Christian Gonzalez, and I was a little shaky about that, but then I did a little bit more research on Forbes, and I loved what I saw. He's going to be a beast. He's a little under the radar, but as he meshes into this young Washington defense, I think he's going to be very well, and he's going to have a very good understanding of that defense once he gets to play with those guys, and his press coverage is oh my god, insane. He's going to be a lockdown defender when he gets to play. I think he does need a little bit of time to develop. Was from Mississippi State, don't play the best teams, but yeah, that's my thought on Emmanuel Forbes. New England came back and took Christian Gonzalez, who I thought would have been the better pick. I love him. His press coverage is oh my gosh, he can play zone, man, anywhere on that field, and he's got you locked up. I love Christian Gonzalez. Fast. He's a little small. He's got hands. He could break up any ball. I love both of these picks. Kind of like a 1A, 1B to me. But what do you guys think?
So this Patriots pick, Gonzalez falling to 17, is, in my opinion, the second biggest steal of the first round, behind the Jalen Carter falling to 9 and the Eagles. I don't get how the Commanders were eyeing a cornerback. Christian Gonzalez was on the board, and they pull out with Forbes. Obviously, they see something in Forbes that I have not caught on to, or I'm loving Gonzalez way too much than they are. But I do not like the Commanders pick, and I love this pick for the Patriots.
I agree. I think the Patriots make out I think they win this. Out of these two, I think the Patriots got the better guy.
Big surprise, Eagles and Patriots. Fucking everyone's falling to them. Everything's working out perfectly for them. Fucking scums. All right.
Always works out. Moving on, Detroit back with the 18th pick, who again took another surprising player that could have waited out of the first round. Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa. He also had a less than 1% chance of getting out of the first or getting drafted in the first round. I don't know. If I'm the Lions GM, I love it. Or I love the Lions general managing. I love their head office. I love it all. But what are you doing? How do you go from running back to a linebacker that aren't even supposed to be drafted in the first round?
Like neither of them.
There's so many good players on the board at their desired positions that you don't need to take this early. They're like, how can we mess up our draft so much? Let's take a running back so early and then take a linebacker that no one's heard of. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
I think that's perfect analysis.
Dude,
I don't know.
Detroit Lions fans, I'm so sorry. They sold you guys so hard.
They sold the draft.
I'm so
They sold the
I'm
draft.
so sorry, dude. But also, if you're a Detroit Lions fan, I don't feel bad for you. How are you still a Detroit Lions fan after they just do you dirty year in and year out?
I mean,
The
there's
Detroit
still,
Lions are.
this year was good.
there's still hope. There's still hope in
What?
Detroit.
Like,
but,
they-
this
I don't
draft,
know,
I don't know.
This was a good year for them.
All right, if a good year for them is like not being the third best team in your division and not making playoffs, then like that's why I feel bad for them.
But
Like,
that's
Detroit.
they got hope.
All right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about this anymore. All I want to say is Detroit Lions, you guys are fucking pathetic, dude. Like, just do better. Like, you literally just do better.
Yeah.
Try harder or something. You guys
Alright.
suck.
So at 19, the Bucks took Kalijah Cansey, defensive tackle from Pittsburgh. I knew a little bit about him going into it. I didn't think he would get drafted this early. Bucks, what is going on with them? They come back, win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. All of a sudden now they're doomed for like the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It seems like
Because they got a Super Bowl out of it. That's what they did. They did it perfectly. They did it
Yeah.
perfectly, and they did it the only way that they could have gotten a Super Bowl.
yeah.
Props to the Bucks.
Yeah.
And they got it. So,
Well now,
whatever they got to do these next 5-10 years, they got to do. They did what they wanted, and they did it successfully, and they did it amazing. So,
Yeah.
rebuild however the fuck you guys want. Tampa Bay, you guys are amazing, and you guys did it. And I trust in Tampa Bay, so.
I do too. I like Bruce Arians a lot. I think he's a very good coach. I really don't know much about this guy. I know he's just a big physical guy that could get to anybody and stop a play. He's from Pittsburgh. I mean, Tampa Bay Buccaneers could use a guy up front, and I hope he's the answer. But I guess time will tell. Bert, you got anything to say about him or no?
No, start of the rebuild. Start with Cansey. Here we go.
All right, moving on. We got the Seattle Seahawks, Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore Ravens, and the Minnesota Vikings all taking receivers back-to-back.
Yo, I want to be a Seahawks fan. I hate the Seahawks, but I love them, dude. like DK, Lockett, JSN.
I think
Gino's elite, bro. Don't tell me he's not. You're gonna won't see this year. He's proved it to us.
We'll see it.
He's proved it to us with not this new even offense he's gonna have. The Seahawks offense is gonna be insane. Their defense is gonna struggle. But I cannot wait to watch Seahawks games. They're gonna be mad high scoring. That offense is gonna be crack with those three. So
Okay, I'm gonna.
and I love this pick. I don't know how JSN falls to 20. That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
cut you off real fast. Their defense was so surprisingly good this year. I don't know what you were watching, but they had their D-Roy, my bad, sorry, and oh my God, what's his name? I can't think of it off the Tyreek Woodley. Awesome.
Wow.
He was crazy this season. Who knew he was going to do good? Their defense obviously it's good. It's getting there, but I mean, you just drafted Devin Witherspoon with the 4th overall pick, which I think is going to be a great plug and play.
And then JSN, dude.
JSN.
They had the second best draft.
Yeah.
Only behind the Eagles.
JSN.
Texans.
JSN. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
that's
that's
fair.
I mean,
that's fair.
That's
no
fair.
one beat the Texans.
I just want to.
That's
I want
fair,
to.
too.
I want to prove this point.
When you got picks 2 and 3, it's kind of hard to beat that.
Yeah.
Previously, we made a pre-mock draft video, and I said that Quentin Johnson was the best receiver available. I'm gonna take that back. I'll catch the heat for it. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, best receiver on this draft class. Did a little bit more research of him, and wow, he's gonna be a special talent. Pair him up with DK and Lockett. I think everything's gonna go well for them. Moving on, Los Angeles Chargers, Quentin Johnson, TCU. This pick kind of, I don't want to say surprised me. I felt like they were going to go receiver, but I think Quentin Johnson wasn't their guy only because he reminds me a lot of Mike Williams.
Yeah.
He's a big guy that can go up and get the ball, and I feel like you need like a slot guy like in the Los Angeles Chargers offense. Like,
They got 2 big bods.
Yeah, and they got
3 big
What do
bods.
they do? Like,
and they
what?
have Keenan Allen, but who knows if he's gonna get traded, cut. Like his contract's gonna get up, and he's gonna want to get.
It
paid.
doesn't matter. He's gonna be hurt.
Yeah, he's gonna be hurt. But who knows what they're gonna do with him? I think they could have went a different receiver in the draft, especially if Njigba went earlier. But I think it's still a good pick.
Quinn Johnson, I really like him. I love big body receivers like that. For the Chargers fit, I think they should have gotten a guy more like Jordan Addison. I think he would have been a beautiful fit for them. But, I mean, they do love their big body receivers, and their big body receivers do very well for them. So, and I do love him, so.
I
It's a good pick.
feel like they got exactly what you said. I think they didn't need another big body receiver like that, and like I feel like they didn't need to go receiver here.
They didn't really need to go offense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
if they could make their defense not even elite but just like good, then that is a very great
That's their
team.
biggest problem right
Yeah.
now is their defense.
Yeah.
They can put up 20-something points a game. That should be able to win you football games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their defense is good. They got good name players. On paper, it looks great, but they
Their defense
they
is not
fold
good,
it.
dude.
On paper, it is very good.
Who cares about paper, dude? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
On
no,
paper means
yeah. I'm
nothing.
just saying they have Khalil Mack, Casey Hayward. They have all these big name guys that didn't show out, and that's what I'm trying to say. On paper, they do look good.
No, you're definitely right.
But to move on, Baltimore Ravens. They took Zay Flowers. I'm the Ravens household fan here. I know these guys are going to say otherwise, but I do think it is a good pick. But how do you leave Jordan Addison on the table, bro? I think the Chargers should have taken Addison. Then the Ravens had the opportunity to take him, and they don't. They take Zay Flowers, who I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
give the
know.
Ravens another below average receiver, dude.
I don't think he'll be below average, but I think the Ravens needed a big guy like Addison that could literally do everything, and Zay Flowers just is on the shorter end of the football, and he is, I don't know. I can't wait to see it. I got hope.
I'm
but-
pretty sure he's 5'9" or 5'8" or something like that. He's really small. I mean, I think he was getting comparisons to like Tyreek Hill or something on draft night. He won't be that. He will not be that.
Yeah, he will not.
I mean, he might be very fast, or he might beat his cornerbacks on the outside, just running it out. But I don't know, dude. I don't know how he'll translate to the NFL.
No.
Also, he was playing at Boston College, not very
good
stiff
comp there.
competition.
Yep.
So
Nelson
We'll
Aguilar, Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, Odell, Zay Flowers. Too many terrible cooks in the kitchen. That's all I want to say about it. Too many like very overrated, very do-nothing players in the kitchen. I hate that pick. I really hate
I think
that
very
pick.
unexperienced is the word for that. But move on.
oh my god, I hate this pick too.
Oh yeah, the Vikings. They took Jordan Addison.
I love Jordan Addison. Vikings didn't need him.
Exactly what he said.
I agree with that.
They did lose Thielen though, so I mean, if they could have a nice little 1-2 punch, take some pressure off of Jefferson, pretty much everything in their offense goes. I mean, they do have a bunch of big name players on offense: Dalvin Cook and Hawkinson.
Same thing with the Chargers though. They need help on defense, bro.
Yes,
Their
I
defense is
definitely
awful.
think Vikings should have built up their defense. I just feel like they're like, all right, we just lost Thielen. I don't know how Addison fell here.
Okay.
Let's take some of the load off of J. Jeff, spread out the field a little bit, because not only is Jordan Addison very good, but this makes Justin Jefferson a lot better.
yeah.
And I think they're like, okay, if we could put up 35 points a season, it doesn't matter how good our defense is. Like, we're gonna be gross.
And I did that last year,
And they had a very good season last year.
yeah.
And mind you, they do have Hawkinson, who is a very good open field pass catcher. But I think Jordan Addison's going to be the best receiver to come out of this class. The Vikings know how to draft receivers, man. So
No.
Better than JSN.
who knows? I don't know. I think
Tough to
JSN
call,
can
tough
be
to
the
call.
best. But
I love JSN. Jordan Addison is my second favorite receiver in this
Yeah.
draft, though.
don't be surprised when he makes some big plays. But moving on, Giants, Conk, I'll let you take the floor for this one.
Okay. I knew we were going either receiver or corner. I was very much hoping JSN was going to fall to us. And he kept falling, he kept falling, he kept falling. I was like, oh my gosh, we actually have a chance of this. And then 4 receivers go in a row. I pretty much wanted any of those 4 receivers besides Zay Flowers. I was like, okay. I just really were hoping we weren't going to take Zay Flowers because I am just really not big on him at all. I would have loved Quentin Johnson. I would have loved Jordan Addison. I really, really, really was hoping JSN. But I figured we were going corner, and I hoped I really thought and I really hoped we were getting Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. I'm happy that we stuck with our corner in Deontay Banks. Deontay Banks is all right. I guess we'll just have to see how he does. I was just hoping we would get Porter Jr. here. I was really hoping. I was like, okay, I know we're going either receiver or corner, and I knew Porter Jr. would still be left on the. At least I thought. And then I was like, all right, Jason has a very small chance, but at least we could probably get Johnson or Addison, and I would very much love one of them. And then they barely didn't fall to us. And then we traded up for this pick. We literally had the 25th pick and traded up to the 24th. I don't know why. Because it's not like Deontay Banks was getting taken here anyway. We could have sat on Deontay Banks. I don't know why we traded up for Deontay Banks, but whatever.
I think they needed a quarterback. I think they needed a cornerback, and I think they looked at the board and said, okay, I like Deontay Banks. I like more than Porter. Like, obviously that's what they did, but I think they needed a cornerback, and they saw someone they liked, and they got their guy. So
yeah, I want to trust the Giants on this one. I mean, I think that they could have made the right play, but like you said, bro, I would have loved to see Joey Porter in the big blue. No. But keep it moving. Buffalo Bills, kind of surprising, kind of not. They took Dalton Kincaid. I forget how to say it. Kincaid, tight end from Utah. I like this pick. I would have liked to see like Michael Meyer go before him, but
nah, Dalton Kincaid is crap.
So the thing I like about this trade,
Michael Meyer is a little overrated in my opinion.
The thing I like about this trade is that this gives so many options for the Buffalo Bills offense. You could run the ball with Singletary, which is not a good option, but you can obviously throw the ball to Stephon Diggs, which works 9 times out of 10. Then you got Gabe Davis, and then now you're adding this big body Dalton guy from Utah who can go up and catch big ball, like high catching balls.
Did they is Dawson Knox still with them?
I don't know.
I think so.
Dude, have him run opposite flankers. One of them will be open. Just throw it high.
Yeah.
That's crack.
No, but this gives the Bills offense so much more help. I think it's just another big body in that.
It just opens it up. He's a good blocker. He's a good catcher.
Yeah.
It just opens up their offense even more, and that's a very open, very scary offense to begin with. So I like that pick a lot.
Let's keep it moving. Cowboys here at the 26th pick. They took Myles Smith from Michigan. Defensive tackle, I like it. Big body.
I think he is so underrated. I think that this was one of the greatest picks of the first round. That Cowboys defense is looking scary.
Yeah, I think he's just another big name body up front that any team can use a big body up front.
He's very slept on because he's not a very exciting player, but he is a very good. He helps form your defense and he helps put the guys in the position where they need to be, and he's always in the right place at the right time. His stats don't show up a lot, but he is that guy in your defense who solidifies it. I love him.
Yeah. To move it on, Jacksonville Jaguars have the 27th pick. They took Anton Harrison, offensive tackle from Oklahoma.
Love this pick too. Protect the franchise, dude. Obviously, he's your franchise. That is a terrible division. If you have Trevor Lawrence in that division, you're going to win it. So get him as much help as possible. That offense is going to be insane this next year. The only thing I was scared about was their line. They have so many amazing skill guys and a pretty good developing defense. The only thing they were really lacking is their line, and Lawrence was getting pressured and knocked down a lot. And so beef up this line. I think that this is perfect, and I love this pick for them.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Exactly. Nope, took the words out of my mouth too. I like this. Need to protect the quarterback, and this was the pick.
Yep. So Bengals here at 28 now. They took who I think was a huge steal. Myles Murphy, edge rusher from Clemson. I love this.
Huge steal. Almost falling out of the first round, Myles Murphy. That's crazy. And of course, just like the Eagles, just like the Chiefs, who does he fall to? The Bengals, bro. Like, good things happen to good teams, I guess.
Yeah.
Good to be lucky to be good. That I don't know how he fell almost out of the first round. Myles Murphy is insane.
I had him going a lot higher. If you guys saw the mock draft, I had him going like at least top 10. I think he's very good, proven to my previous video of the mock draft. I think he'll be great for Cincinnati. They need help on defense by every mean. He will pressure anybody, can guard anybody. I mean, you can put him anywhere. I think you can put him anywhere. What do you think?
Gotta get past the Chiefs and the Bills if you want to get to the Super Bowl. So gotta have a good defense.
They got the offense for it.
Exactly.
Defense is holding them back. Built up that defense, and I love this Myles Murphy pick, dude. I think he's one of the best defensive talents in the draft this year,
Yeah.
and they got him at the Bengals pick. So like, good for them.
I love that at 28.
Yeah.
At 29, we got another Clemson native. We got Brian Brees going to the New Orleans Saints. I really didn't know much about him. Just know he's a big body, likes to play physical. Saints can use anything, really. Maybe I could have liked to see O-line. Maybe another corner. I don't know.
O-line or D-line would be good for the Saints. I like this pick. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I think it's a very fitting pick.
Yeah,
I feel like
think it was fun.
I feel like the Saints could have taken anything except for like a quarterback and a running back, and I would have been cool with this pick.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
But to kind of tie in this next pick, how do you leave
Nolan
Nolan Smith for the next pick?
That's what I was about to say.
If I'm the Saints, I'm taking Nolan Smith.
And who does Nolan Smith go to, bro? The Eagles. Oh my gosh, bro. How does he fall? Like, how does he fall to 30 to the Eagles?
Might as well call them the Philadelphia Bulldogs at this point.
Yeah, another guy in that Georgia defense who was on the greatest college defense of all time.
Yeah.
Eagles have that greatest college defense of all time from Georgia, and this really just solidified it. I don't know how we let him get away with this. I don't know how Nolan Smith fell. Oh my gosh, that makes me sick.
Yeah.
As a Giants fan, that makes me sick.
Even if you're a Cowboys fan, I'd still be scared. But moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Same rivalry, right?
Yeah, but and it's same division, whatever. Moving on to the last pick, the Chiefs had Felix and Naduki Izuma. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I have no idea who this guy
I was just about to say, he's the only guy drafted in the first round that I actually have never heard of. But the one thing I will say is that it's a Chiefs, so they obviously know what they're doing. I've never heard of this guy, but I'm just going to go with my gut here and say Chiefs, great.
Great.
Knowing the Chiefs, that is the biggest steal ever. So
Great pick.
all right, moving on to the very early stage of the second round. We're only going to do like the first 5 or 6 picks of the second round because there were some big name guys who fell here, and we need to talk about it. So, first pick of the second round goes to the Steelers, and they get Joey Porter Jr. That defense is insane. I don't know how Joey Porter Jr. didn't go in the first round. I wanted him on the Giants. It's going to be tough seeing him in yellow and black, but that is a great pick, and that Steelers defense is amazing.
Yeah, you're telling me. I'm a Ravens fan. Obviously, Steelers are our biggest rival. They killed the draft. Joey Porter Jr. falling out of the first round was by far crazy. I know teams were trying to call up to get him, or even possibly the next pick, who the Tennessee Titans drafted. We'll get to that later. But Joey Porter Jr. is such a sleeper pick. I don't know how he fell.
It's because the only reason he fell is because he was a little handsy in college, and they called because like college is very. With that, they called so many. He got a lot of penalties on him. Other than that, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, great pick for the Steelers there.
Moving on, Tennessee Titans take a quarterback that should have been in the first round. I didn't think so, but hey, Mel Kiper, ESPN, all
He
those
was in
big
the green
names.
room. He was in the green room.
He was in the green room.
He was
He
sitting there
told
all night.
press, that he was only going to the draft if he knew he was going to be a first-round pick. Guess what? Will Levis, you're an idiot. You were not a first-round pick. You're a second-round pick to the Titans.
No, they did him so dirty.
I
Yo. That's
agree.
not
They
on
did him
him.
dirty.
That's not on him. He got done so dirty, and I felt bad for him. And then I saw his girlfriend, and I don't feel bad for him anymore. But yeah, he just got done dirty. I think he's the second best quarterback in this draft behind Stroud. So I love that pick for the Titans. I love the guy with alopecia. Obviously, I forget his name already, but would have loved to see them roll with him. I think he did a very good job stepping up. I forget his name. And by Malik Willis, man, you needed to step up. You did not step up. You suck. I love this pick for the Titans.
I mean, I think they're still gonna rock with Malik Willis. No?
I think they will. Too.
I think they'll rock with them both. And
Well, they still got Tannehill.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
jeez.
who knows? Who knows?
They got the
damn,
ball-
I forgot about
They
that.
got alopecia dude. They got Malik Willis. They got Will Levis, and they got Ryan Tannehill.
So they got
Oh,
decisions.
Dobbs.
They got
That's
decisions.
Yeah, Joshua Dobbs.
Joshua
Joshua
Dobbs.
Dobbs, my alopecia brother.
All right, let's keep this moving. Sorry, Will Levis. That was a huge name taken in the second round that we all
Great
thought would have
pick.
been first.
I'd like to see what the Titans are going to do at quarterback. They have a lot of options, and a lot of very average options. So let's
A lot of decisions
Yeah.
to make.
The Raiders go with the next pick. They take Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame, tight end. One of my favorite tight end prospects. You were just saying how you weren't a big fan of him. I like it. Raiders needed a tight end after trading Waller to the Giants. I think you could basically throw him any ball and he's going to catch it and just kind of run through people. He's slow, which is a huge con for me. I like faster players. I think he's a very good blocker as well, so it kind of makes up for his slowness. But, I mean, hey, Raiders are Raiders. They do Raider things, so.
Big body, decent hands, good blocker, but this man moves like he's a Roblox character. Dude.
Like he's
like
made of jello. dude.
he's like running like he's a robot. Like I don't know how people are so high on him. I am not very high on him. He's a very big body with decent hands, good blocker. I don't know. He just moves weird.
I feel like he's more of an O lineman than a tight end.
No,
you
for
know what
sure,
I mean? Like,
for sure. But he's like not. But he want to be a good O lineman. You know what I mean?
I think that's a good pick for the Raiders.
I don't think that's a good pick for the Raiders though. They need a defense, dude.
I agree.
Why you
that.
take a tight end who moves like a Roblox character when you have a terrible defense that you need to work on?
Well, because they just got who'd they get in their first round?
Tyree Wilson,
Yeah,
who was very iffy, and he's another. And now the only two pieces that they do have on defense are both edge.
True. That's the issue.
They're
there,
stupid.
but-
Raiders are stupid. I hate Raiders draft picks every year, and
But that was their idea
and they
going
haven't
in.
changed my mind this year.
That was their idea going in. Probably we'll take defense first round, and then early second round we'll take a tight end that blocks really good.
They traded up for this pick.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They traded up for this pick because actually I missed someone. Whoever had the pick before him took a different tight end.
Oh yeah.
And and Raiders traded up for this pick because they're like, oh shit. I guess they just really wanted a tight end for some reason. Because as soon as the tight end got traded, they traded right up to the next one and grabbed another tight end.
Sorry, before the Raiders picked, the Lions had the pick and they took Laporta from
Oh
Iowa.
yeah, the Lions again, dude. The Lions had the worst draft and the Raiders had the second worst draft. Easy.
Yeah. Well, that just about wraps it all up for today. Tune in next time for our next mock draft video, and this has been The U.
I went undrafted, they dissing me. Keep talking down, though I love it.
Tom McGrath Electric. It's electric.